are we clapping? Are you gonna clap?
Did.
Oh, he already clapped. Hey.
Hey.
Guys, I'm K Cola.
Marcel.
And Austin.
And we are Who Hurt You, where we talk about devil dick.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that, but it's okay.
Sorry. Before I realized I was allergic to eggs, I used to like deviled eggs.
I love deviled eggs.
I don't like deviled eggs.
Wait, you're allergic to eggs?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Most people are, I know,
Really?
realizing.
Really?
Like if you get nauseous after you eat eggs.
Oh.
I eat a lot of eggs.
Right?
I
don't
I
even-
want white.
Oh, I know,
Ooh,
right?
I don't
I don't drink milk. I'm like lactose intolerant.
I don't
Are
feel-
you?
Yeah, this
What?
shit fucks me. I drink some milk right now. I'm gonna be in your bathroom in
That's a
10
first.
minutes.
Maybe you're not white. Have you done your ancestry?
Ooh, when are we doing that episode? That'd be fun.
That
Did you see that
one-
commercial that they had to pull down for Ancestry.com where he was like, Abigail, run away with me?
Yes.
And then like, and
You ever
then it
seen
was,
that?
Girl,
It's fucking,
I was like,
everyone on
this
Twitter
is
was
what
like,
happens
what
when
the
you don't
fuck?
have diversity in the room. 'Cause
Right.
Who the fuck approved this
Which
commercial?
ad agency of white people were like, this is great, you know? we'll talk about
Allegedly,
it."
Allegedly. He can say it, but we gotta.
I can say it. Fuck that shit.
We
That's
said
some white
allegedly.
shit.
Me and Kay said allegedly.
I ain't no idol, I'm a lighthouse, I set everybody free.
So today we're talking about being addicted to devil dicks, toxic relationships, trauma bonding, what trauma bonding is, why we become love addicts and addicted to people who are toxic to us.
Okay.
Biologically and psychologically, like how it
Yeah,
affects us.
yeah, literally like the chemistry and the synapses in our brain, all of it. We're gonna talk about it all because it's not. I think people kind of put off heartbreak sometimes, and they're like, "Why the fuck can't you just get over this person? They were so bad for you. If they were so bad, why are you so stuck?"
Yeah.
I've had people say that to me recently.
Oh.
You know, if your ex is so bad, why do you talk about him so much? Or because I'm fucking hurt, y'all.
That part is
Yeah.
called process healing.
I was addicted to this person. I had trauma bonding.
Mhm.
Trauma bonding is basically when you are addicted to your abuser.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys have heard of Stockholm Syndrome,
Okay.
Yeah.
but Stockholm Syndrome and trauma bonding are very similar. It's when you basically, your abuser, whether it's your family member, your friend, your ex, it doesn't matter what they do to you,
Okay.
you still want them. You still want their approval. You make excuses for them.
Yeah.
I think this stemmed from my father.
Okay.
The
Guys,
the cards
Kay,
are
if
upside down.
you're watching the video, Kay has
This was so
hella
important
notes.
to me.
Here.
We're about to
this-
learn so much
This
stuff
is
today.
so important to me
Just do this
because
one on the back outside.
I have, I don't like to talk from a victim standpoint because, you know, I think victims get this stigma, but it's really important to recognize shit that's happened to you and not let
Yes.
people make you move on fast or pan over the things that have happened to you.
Or try to write your story for you.
Yes. Everything from molestation as a child to being raped to being physically and verbally abused has happened to me.
Oh my god.
And when I talk about it, I think a lot of us have become desensitized because a lot of girls that I know have been raped.
Okay.
And so when I talk about it, sometimes people don't even say like, oh my, they're not surprised, you know,
Oh my God.
because and people, I think the culture that we're in nowadays, people treat victims really bad.
They
Oh,
really
yeah.
do because people want to place the blame like, well, it was your fault. Like you, like what?
Or why you're not a victim? Why are you always blah,
Or
blah,
they don't
blah?
even believe you to begin with.
They don't believe
like,
you.
You actually come out and tell your truth.
Yeah.
But the problem is like a lot of times that's like power, which you know it's like, and even in like if it's not like we look at things like the Me Too movement where it's like, oh well, of course you know these guys are getting away with it because they're powerful. But no, like even in a patriarchal society, like a man can still have that power over you, and then you come out and you say it, and people are like, well, he's probably not really like that.
What?
Yeah. So we have this thing where we shame our victims, where we write off our victims, where we brush over things, and so for me, I mean that's an abuse in itself. To do that to someone who has gone through something extremely traumatic that literally can change the biochemistry inside of them and affect their brain, like that's why people go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you shouldn't bottle that shit up. So that's why I think it's super important that we talk about this. So again, trauma bonding is when the victim is like insanely loyal or addicted to the abuser.
Okay.
my dad was very abusive, verbally. He always put women down. So, and I always wanted his approval. So growing up, I would get addicted to men who didn't treat me well.
Oh, because it's a direct reflection of your father.
Because that's what love was.
Yeah. This is your shown as love. Okay.
Or I would blame myself for things that would happen. When I was raped,
Oh my God.
I told 2 people and they didn't really, it wasn't really a big deal. So I kind of kept it to myself. I didn't report the guy.
Okay.
And then
Even people say that's an issue. Well, you didn't report it, so it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
And then like maybe 6 months later, I ended up dating him. Yes. Yep.
That's the trauma bond.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the trauma bonding, and I had no idea what was wrong with me, and that's why this has been so important, like this whole movement, because I am learning about shit that I'm like, I didn't know I was doing that. Like, I didn't know that your brain can get attached to someone who abuses you, or why, you know, and it's literally like an addiction.
Okay.
So part of being a love addict and being addicted to your abuser is because there is dopamine that's released in your brain. So I'm just going to talk about relationships for right now, but this can apply to your parents, your sister, your friends, coworker, anyone.
Okay.
Anyone that has given you any type of pleasure. Anytime you get pleasure from something, dopamine is released in your brain. And that is literally it's a drug. That's why they call it dope. And so what happens is your brain starts to tell you that in order for you to get that dopamine again, you have to be around that person. You have to sleep with that person. You have to kiss that person. Whatever you were doing
It's
with
like
them at the time.
self-triggers.
And that's why people have like food issues, because a lot of people get happy when they eat.
Right.
And then they feel like they have to eat that thing again, or they have to
Well, but they also they might be stressed and they come home and they eat and they're like, oh, I feel this rush of happiness.
Or
And then it's like
foods that bring you
but then it's
comfort.
that trigger of, oh, I'm stressed every day and I have to eat to feel better every day, or drink or whatever.
And when you're stressed, your body releases cortisol, and that slows your heart rate down. And so in order to get you back up, you need more of that dopamine.
So whatever your pleasure releases is what you go to.
Yeah. And then another thing that happens is our bodies don't know the difference between emotional and physical pain.
Okay.
So like someone doing you wrong can literally be as bad as if you got beat up. Like and actually to me it's worse, because for me it's like it lasts longer.
Oh, because it's like an emotional versus a physical. It's like you're getting beat up.
Yeah, like if I get a bruise, I'm gonna be healed in a few days.
Right.
If I break something, that will heal in a few months or weeks or whatever. But with
It doesn't really affect your mind.
Yeah.
Like emotional stuff does.
Or even your heart. And people don't realize like your gut is your second brain. So when you are going through stressful situations or heartbreak or things like that, it affects your gut and even like the chemicals that are released in your gut. And your gut starts talking to your brain. And you can actually manifest something called cardiomyopathy, and that can lead to like heart attacks. It's heart disease. You can get heart disease from. That's why they say like people die from a broken heart.
Oh.
You can die from a broken heart. So I think it's just so important that we take this serious.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, again, like you can die from it.
Yeah.
You can get anxiety, depression. And you can lose sleep. I mean, there are just so many health factors that come from not being healed of a broken heart. So, for me,
You okay, babe?
yes.
Okay.
So,
Wanna hug?
he offers first of all, he gives the best hug.
Thank you.
Yes. For me, this last year have had the hardest time getting over my ex because of all of the traumas that came from our situation. I know we talked about in another episode, like the friends. It was so traumatic for me that my so-called friends had a hand in our breakup.
Okay.
and that they were able to even get to him, because I feel like if you're my man, you're supposed to be loyal. And I felt like the person that I was sleeping with and rooting for and carried a child for was disloyal, and that can like fuck with so many things, from like your security in other people, your security in yourself. I had an issue with my body because he had looked at my friend a certain way, and this friend was she was thicker than me, and at the time I was pregnant, so I was like,
you were feeling
I was already
yeah.
feeling fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like, and that's another thing, when you're pregnant, there are so many other emotions that go on.
Because your hormones are all over the place, right?
Your hormones are all over the place. You're carrying a whole another set of hormones from a
You're carrying a whole human inside.
yeah, a whole human.
A whole human.
And so it's like, okay, well, damn, like, even when I'm not pregnant, like, this would have hurt, but like, I'm pregnant and I have to think about like, well, my body doesn't look like this, or I don't look like that.
And you're probably, I can't speak from a pregnant woman's stance, but you're probably way more in tune with your body. So you're even more subconscious and harsher on yourself than you would be.
And this is a time where you're supposed to be like feeling empowered and like
eating whatever you want.
You're supposed to feel like a god, like you're literally carrying life.
But you're also worrying about like, okay, I want to make sure that I'm in the best place possible for my baby, so I don't bring my stress and energy to as she grows. But then you're dealing with all this shit, like that's crazy.
And a lot of pregnant women write me because their boyfriends start acting crazy when they get pregnant, and I feel for them because I know how it feels to be pregnant and be dealing with the heartbreak. Like, I literally went to therapy, I went to hypnotherapy, I did Reiki healing, and I still couldn't figure out like why I was so addicted to this person. Like, I'm like, oh, all these things are supposed to fix it, you know? And I was still addicted to the person. I've only been in love 3 times, and well, he was.
Okay. Well, you have 3 beautiful children, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't in love with him.
Okay. My bad. My bad. Another episode.
My bad.
My bad.
I wasn't in love with the first 2. Yep. Nope.
The tea.
Put him out.
We will talk about that later.
I think this is why this one was so disappointing, because I was so in love with him, and I was like, oh my god, I'm finally gonna have a baby with a man that I'm super in love with.
Oh, that makes sense.
I had also told him, like, I'm scared. You know, I'm scared that what happened to me before is gonna happen to me, and it did.
Do you think by you even saying that welcomed it into...
Manifested it?
Yeah. By bringing it up?
No, because he was doing bullshit before.
Oh, okay.
No. And that's what I was saying, like, with the sage. I think the sage just, like, revealed it. Saging, like, it exposed all of the secret fucked up shit that was going on with friends and family and him. I had toxic friends in my life that were smiling in my face, working for me and getting a check from me and talking shit about me to my man. Knowing that I'm pregnant, like, I'm my most vulnerable. You know, and mind you, these were all people who were like, you guys should have a baby. Like, they told us for a long time, you guys should have a baby. And I'm like, no, I don't want no more kids. Like, no, I already have 2 kids and he has a kid. I'm fine. And then we were like, you know what? We're in love. Let's do it. Let's make a little love baby. And
she's so gorgeous.
She's so gorgeous, and
amazing.
she's a light. She's amazing. But the same friends who were telling me, you know, have a baby and, oh, you guys are so fly together, would literally, in my own home, while I'm in my room, talk shit about me. So this was the level of toxicity that I was dealing with. And I didn't realize how deep the trauma was, and what happens is you feel like the only way you're gonna feel any type of relief from the pain, like your mind literally tricks you, is to continue to talk to this person. Yeah,
so like one thing when we were talking about like abusers earlier, like I'm not some expert, but I feel like a lot of times what I hear people say is like, because like from an outside perspective, we can always be like, yo, like, why are you with him? Like, he hits you or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, that makes sense.
We're always like, why are you with him? Obviously, he's abusive. But then, like, in that moment, she's like, yeah, I know that that's bad, but there's these other things that I only focus on because that's where my dopamine comes from, or whatever it might be. And it's like, do you think it's like a mental, like, kind of, like, you're aware of the bad stuff, but then you're like, okay, well, I have to push through to find the good, and I'll just let the bad slide? Is that what it is?
No, yes.
No, you're completely wrong.
No.
Absolutely
I know,
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. That is the case. I think I just wanted to add to that maybe, or maybe that wasn't necessarily the case for me. It was, I thought because at one point we were so good that we could get back to that.
Well, that's what I mean is like focusing on like any type of good that ever was or is.
I thought he was just tripping. I thought that like
it was all just a mistake. Like he'll figure it
yeah,
out.
and
come back.
I had a lot of guilt. We talked about this on the first episode about me being heartbroken pregnant, right?
Yeah.
When I told you guys I had a friend that I had slept with years,
yeah.
like 5 years before I got with my
This one,
ex.
yeah.
He was just a friend, and we were friends. My ex didn't like that, and I acknowledged that. Like, see, at first I tried to force the friendship, and we went to therapy over that friendship, and then I was just like, fuck it. My relationship means so much to me, and I'm about to have a baby. Like, I'm not gonna be friends with this person and risk my relationship, right?
Okay.
So I stopped being friends with the guy. Like, I feel like in that moment, you should see like I grew, right?
Yeah.
But he couldn't let it go.
Oh.
And
That's because he had dirt on his own. He was feeling
that's
guilty.
the thing. I'm like, why is it so if I had never been friends with this person, it's okay for me to forgive all your fuck ups, because he fucked up a lot during the relationship, and in the beginning of the relationship he did wild shit that like wild shit.
Okay.
And I forgave him and I worked it out.
Yeah.
But why isn't it that you could forgive me?
Because he's a narcissist.
He's a narcissist. And it's not fair, and that not fairness is what kept me obsessed.
Okay.
The guilt kept me obsessed. If I had just given up the friendship from jump, then we would.
Oh, that makes sense. So then you should have blamed yourself.
I blamed myself, which is
yeah.
a sign of trauma bonding. Is you replaying everything that happened, going back and trying to figure out if I had just, then maybe we would be together right now.
Or if.
Yeah, you become obsessed with that what if mentality. And another thing is you obsess about you kind of feel like a failure, and you feel like you want to fix them.
Yeah.
But you always remember, like, especially a grown-ass man, if he doesn't want to change, you can't fix him. You can't change the person that does not want to change.
Exactly.
That's something that you have to physically be willing to do for yourself, because you don't like something about yourself or your traits.
Yeah.
Someone else wanting something for you is never going to work out for you.
I agree.
Well, and you're also an empath, and like
Yeah.
so you see things in someone, you're like, oh, I understand, like maybe this pain you have or whatever.
I had a lot of empathy.
Right, and so you're wanting to figure out how to fix it. Meanwhile, he's basically just like, oh, I'm gonna
Trash.
take advantage of your empathy, and then also project shit that I'm doing onto you and make you feel bad, and like, yeah.
He had me so fucked up that I sometimes I think that he doesn't even realize the fuck shit that he's doing.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because he's a Virgo. Do you guys reflect?
Ooh.
I know you guys are really hard.
She hit it when it hurts.
You guys are really hard on yourselves, and you guys do a lot of like. Do you guys self-reflect? You like. And I know you guys are different kinds of Virgos.
What? Okay.
Listen, all right.
Clarify. What beginning or end of Virgo are you?
I'm
does
right in the
that
middle.
matter?
I'm September 13th.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's 4 days after you.
Oh.
Well, that's it. He's not my birthday. That's why he's so fucked up. No. But no, I mean, like, I think in general, though, like, Virgos, at least from what I've seen, are always, like, critical, but that also goes for ourselves, too. Like, we're always trying to figure out, like, what's wrong, what's a problem, and how do I fix it? But being a narcissist, that's a sign. Every sign could be a narcissist. Like, if you're a narcissist, then you're just kind of dealing with that, and you're gonna do some fuck shit. But like,
there's levels to narcissism too, because I mean, we've talked even recently, and he's like, you say I'm a narcissist and blah blah blah, and like, you don't have to have every single trait of a narcissist to be a narcissist, because one of the traits is like having zero empathy.
Yes.
At one point, we were going to therapy because he did care. And I think that's another reason I had so much hope, because I'm like, this man volunteered going to therapy. Like, he looked up the therapist. I didn't look up the therapist, which most men don't do.
Maybe though he was so conniving that he did it because he knew
Yeah,
if he
he
did
playing-
it,
yeah,
he would
yeah,
feel
yeah.
better, but he could
He was
keep doing the fuck shit.
Playing
he was doing.
chess. He was
Maybe.
one move ahead.
That's what I would do.
Got
Virgo
that.
shit.
Virgo. He straight said that's what he would do.
No, seriously, I think about shit like that though. Like that's, I always assume the worst about
And I
people
believe,
though.
and that's the problem. I don't.
I always be like,
I kept giving
ooh,
him
what's
the
the
benefit
move?
of the doubt. I kept feeling like, fuck, I know how he grew up, so maybe he just never had
That's
someone
not an excuse.
wholeheartedly loved. And that's the problem with the trauma bonding. I made
Yeah.
excuses.
Yeah.
I'm literally a trauma bonder.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna read some of the signs of trauma bonding. So you fall susceptibility to the love bombing. Love bombing is basically like when they all of us, like, they'll send you flowers, they'll be like, I love you, or
Okay.
you're, you know, I did this and I miss this about us, and that's love bombing. Like when they all of a sudden just try to like give you all of this love, but
And it
it's
comes out of
fake.
nowhere?
It's fake.
Yeah, because it's fake. Yeah.
Yeah. You still have a hope and chance for the future, even though they've done terrible things to you. So like you were saying, like with girls who get hit, they think, well, I'm gonna say we think, because I've been hit,
Right.
and we think that, oh, he'll change, he won't do it
Oh
again.
no.
Well, and like at the beginning, he didn't just start out like, "Hey, let's go on a date," hit you right away. Right?
That's
So
the
you're
thing.
like, "Oh, remember when he didn't used to hit
When
me?
he
What?
didn't.
Those were the days."
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
we used to have fun. We used to be best friends. We used
Yeah.
to go on trips together. Like,
Mhm.
where did it go wrong? You
Yeah.
replay all that. You blame yourself. What did I do to make
Yeah.
him hit me? Bullshit. It's bullshit.
Bullshit.
It's not.
There's
it's
never an
not
excuse,
your fault.
ever.
There's
Never
never
an
an
excuse.
excuse.
Fucking ever.
Okay, so you feel like things will. So during the breakup, you feel like things will never get better and there's no hope, meaning like you'll never get over the breakup. And I keep saying that, like, fuck, I'm never gonna get over him.
Yeah.
You've seen me
yeah.
say that.
I
Right?
know.
Are you
Yeah.
still working on?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still, the sad thing is I'm still in love with this person. And I don't even know if it's because of him or it's because of me. Really,
Yeah.
it has to be because of me.
Mhm.
Because there's no excuse. He's not doing anything to make me be in love with him, or
Right.
Yeah.
there's
But
no,
it's also like how you were saying earlier about like victims. We always get this stigma of like, you know, stop playing a victim card. But like I think this is like a somewhat reverse way of looking at it. But it's like, you know all the bullshit, right?
Yeah. can see
You
the signs.
call it out, you see it, but then you still feel a certain way.
Yes.
But we're objective. We'd be like, fuck this dude.
Yeah.
But we don't have the right to tell you why the fuck you feel this way, Kay. Get
Yeah.
over him. He's fine. Like you have to deal with that
Have
in
you-
your own way.
Have you
and
started
take time.
asking yourself like plausible questions of like why? What is
listen,
it?
I'm a very logical bitch, okay? I am a Taurus. I have a lot of I'm an alpha female. And I have a lot of masculine energy, so I'm very logical. I can give myself all of the points. I'm
Okay.
really good at advice.
But your heart still feels the
My
same way.
heart,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're talking about, biochemistry. Like chemically, I am still addicted to this person. I am addicted to, because I've never felt what I had with him with anyone.
Okay.
Ever.
Do you think that really plays the biggest role in it? Is because it's like
I
it's a
thought he
love,
was my person.
It's a love that you've never experienced
He
before.
had everything I wanted in a man, like when it was good,
Yeah.
Okay.
but it wasn't good. Like
Honestly, like, so if you guys watched my episode, I talked about an ex that like really fucked me up.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way about her even to this day.
Austin.
Aw.
But I know it. But it's not like I'm.
I
good.
didn't know.
Yeah, we
Well,
didn't
no,
know,
it's like
okay.
it's more so like this.
We're
like,
supposed to know everything about
well,
you.
no, because it's not like a thing like, oh, maybe I'll get back for it. Like I don't.
No.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
I'm totally.
You can love someone
over-
from a distance.
Yeah, but it's like, but I, when you talk about trauma bonding, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely me. And mine wasn't even near as intense and like what you guys have gone through, but it was, I still had those things where I'm like, man, I'm fucked up from all that. But then like, we still talk here and there, and I'm just like, yeah, man, we had some good times. Yeah. Oh wait, what the fuck? Like, what?
She
You know what I
literally
mean?
had a nigga
Oh.
in her bed. Did you forget that?
No, exactly. But I'm like, I remember those good times. So
Yeah.
that's why it's like, I get why like people think that way sometimes.
Oh yeah, I rationalize so many things, like, you know, oh, he didn't really. Here's one. Okay, so with the thing with my friend, I don't want to really get into the details because it's what with the friend. But I was pregnant and I was super sick. I was throwing up. So at the time we weren't intimate, and I'm really freaky. So like we were always, So I blamed myself and I was like, well, maybe he was just because I wasn't giving him any at the time. But then I'm like, what the fuck? You were literally carrying his baby. You were sick off your ass.
And you're in a relationship.
I was in the hospital. Yeah. Like, why am I rationalizing what the fuck he did? Because he did, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the type of shit that happens with trauma bonding.
Yeah.
And then like here's another thing. So you still want to help them. So when we first broke up, we were living together.
Oh shit.
And I literally was helping him look for his own place after I kicked him out the house. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, but it's like that, yeah.
He was going through some shit and he could still call me to vent, and I would try to help him figure out ways to like do things. I'm like, why the fuck what? He's not helping me. Like, why the fuck am I?
Is this the type of situation like, or a person like they call you, answer first ring?
No. I didn't answer first ring because I was probably playing games. Or I wouldn't answer at all.
Because you know they got you. When
I wouldn't answer at all, and then I'd answer hours later, like, oh, what's up? Playing them dumb, and that's a sign that that's not healthy. Because we were the type that like we would text each other back and forth immediately. Like that was the one thing I loved about us. We never from the jump played games. Yeah. We like would text each other immediately. We'd call each other. We always wanted to hang out together. We did everything together. It was so fun. He was my best friend. So I'm like, where's my best friend at? Like, where is my best friend?
You lost your lover, you lost your best friend,
yes.
You lost your everything that
not
you
realizing this nigga was not my best friend.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about me with my friends. He was your best friend is not going to allow people to talk about you. My best friend Marshawn, literally, when people have tried to talk about me to him, he'll go off and then he'll let me know what's going on.
I'll pull up, like, because if you're ever in a situation where you have a best friend and someone's able to talk shit about you and your friend can report back to you what they said, that ain't your friend.
Yeah, they need to be like, why
are you talking shit about my
if somebody's talking about my man, I'm gonna be like, bitch, why are you talking about, that's my man.
That part.
Like, bitch, don't talk about my man. Matter of fact, let me go get my man over here right now so
Thank
he
you.
can beat your ass.
That part.
Because you are not gonna
Let's all
talk
have this
about my
conversation
nigga.
together.
Double tap.
Yes, like no. Another thing is that so helping the person that hurt you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's out of guilt. Like you feel this weird guilt, and this happens a lot with family members. Like, say your mom has been super abusive to you and then she gets sick, right? Who's going to take care of her?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, that's literally what happens with our family members. And then also, so once you trauma bond with one person, which it started from my dad, then it went to the rapist, then it continues. So this is like a ripple effect from the beginning, because once you trauma bond with one person, you're more likely to do it with a whole bunch of people. And you keep giving your trust to non-trustworthy people, which I found myself doing so much.
Okay, so
I always give people the benefit of the doubt.
How did you like acknowledge it within yourself as a trait that you had?
I'm just now acknowledging it.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
But that's
real.
Like,
I
the
appreciate
fact that
that.
you're like, that's what, back to the whole thing of like understanding where you are in your own journey is all that matters. And that's why I hate when people are like, oh, you're I'm not gonna say it. You're however years old, you know, like.
I don't care. I'm 33.
Right, she look good though. Look at this.
33
like,
going on like 25. But anyway, so like, no, but like, you know, people be like, oh, you're 33 and just now realizing this? It's like, yeah.
That part.
Like, yeah, I am, but I'm acknowledging it and I'm moving forward and I'm growing. Like, that's all that matters, right?
Most people don't even realize this my mom is 60 something and she doesn't realize half of the shit that I'm talking about right now.
Oh
like,
shit.
Older people don't, like, I feel like our generation are the ones who, without going to a therapist, are learning about all this shit on their own via YouTube, via social media, which I think these things are so important, and people need to stop passing stuff off as just, oh, it's just social media. Like, do you know how much shit I've learned? Like, or thought, like, it sparked something in me to learn because of social media.
Yeah,
you
can
know?
learn anything. And then also, I feel like we're also a generation that actually cares about emotions for once.
That
because our parents' generation was like, emotions, suppress.
Yeah.
And then it's like, now we actually think like, why do I feel the way I feel?
Mental health.
What's the trail of things that led me to be like this?
Yeah, and I also think it's because right now everyone's offended by every single thing that's happening. So everyone's taking accountability for everything that's happening, like their actions and what people are doing.
Everybody's so sensitive.
Yeah, so like now we're able to like place accountability to toxic traits and be able to like, you hurt me, you fucking did this. You did this to me, I need to figure this shit out. But I love that you said you just now figured this out, because that allows you to be able to start healing and start working on it.
Yeah. So the thing you're saying with accountability, that's another part of the trauma bonding. I tried to get him to see how he hurt me.
Has he?
He'll like acknowledge it and then he'll take it back, which is extremely toxic. So a few weeks ago he was like, I did regular shit that niggas do. And I'm like, what?
But why does that make it okay?
In your mind?
Right.
Why does that make it
I was
okay?
like, but it's so basically you just let me know that my pain doesn't matter to you, because that's your excuse. Because I could be like, well, I did shit that fine ass bitches do. Like I have homeboys. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I could have made every excuse. Yeah. But for me, I was like, you know what? I acknowledge that what I did hurt you. I didn't mean to hurt you. I had no malicious intent. And I explained to him the reason I had my homeboy as my friend was because previous to him, I had been in abusive relationships that didn't let me have no homeboys as friends.
Okay.
And so I felt like, oh, in my next relationship, it's going to be healthy and I'm going to be able to be friends with, you know, guys and blah, blah, blah. And so I took it a bit extreme, but there was no malicious intent. It was not like I wanted to cheat on him with the guy or do all these things that he was scared I was going to do.
Okay.
My intentions were good. I just fucked up, and I admit that I fucked up. So, and I tried to fix it.
Also, just PSA, any ladies, any guy that's gonna tell you not to have other guy friends is full of shit.
That goes for anybody.
Yeah,
like
opposite too. Yes.
Anybody setting boundaries on who you can and cannot be around as an adult is not the person for you. Because at the end of the day, like I've had friends tell me that they've been in relationships where the guy was stopping business deals in bags. Because it's like, oh, I'm not gonna allow you to go talk to that nigga because I don't know. That's insecurities that they're reflecting on themselves. Because there's a time and a place for everything. And I feel like when you're really in love with someone and you're really just like invested in someone, like one single person, not like all these hoes who are invested in everybody. When you're invested in one single person, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter who you're around or what you're doing because you have that trust and that bond between each other.
But even still, he had that boundary, and even though I didn't respect it initially, I rectified myself.
To try to fix the problem.
And he should have given me an opportunity instead of fucking shitting on me and like trying to make me pay for it. Because I'm like, okay, we broke up. That like the whole point. You didn't like that, whatever. I didn't like what you did. We broke up. After the breakup, he still kept doing shit. I'm like, it's supposed to end there. And it didn't end there. I'm like, this is just as toxic as the relationship was, except worse because I'm feeling the pain of a breakup and I have to deal with all this extra bullshit. You know, he would call me accusing me of dating guys, even when I was pregnant.
Oh shit.
He would
Wait, this is after you broke up?
After we broke up.
Why the fuck does he care?
That's what I said.
Because he's possessive.
Virgos
are possessive.
He told me that he wanted to get back with me, but that he went through my phone and he saw that
How did he go through your phone?
He went through my phone when I was in labor at the hospital.
What?
And
what the?
Yes.
Trifling.
Yeah, he went through my phone.
Well, hold on. Wait, so you're literally there giving birth and he's like, you're doing great. Hold on.
He went through my phone and he said that he saw that I was talking to guys in my DMs, which I wasn't.
Bitch, you were pushing a baby out.
I maybe had friends, but I was like, even if I was talking to guys, you literally were talking to girls the whole time I was pregnant. So what? You know,
and also, you're not even together.
We're not together. Yeah, but he claims that that's
the
reason.
You mad? You turn red.
I hate guys like that, man. I hate that shit. It's so bullshit.
He says that he was considering us getting back together until.
No, bitch! She tried to. Oh no!
That's
hate
another
that
manipulation
shit.
tactic. That shit hurt too, and I'm like, that's another like guilt trip on me. I'm like, that's really fucked up. Like you know that I wanted to work our family out. I was willing to forgive all of the fucked up shit you did. And you want to tell me it's because you think I was talking to guys?
Honestly, though, all that tells me is that he never wanted to actually.
That part.
I agree.
He was looking for excuses.
He was looking for
excuses, and he was never willing to give himself 100% to you because he was too busy entertaining these other bitches.
But
Who
also
does
wanted to
that?
string you along just because, you know,
Yeah.
he enjoys it and he enjoys the power or whatever.
Ugh,
Yeah.
he need his ass beat.
Ooh, shit.
It's so fucked up. It like, and that's why I'm so hurt because I'm like, I had this hope and
Aw,
I
babe.
don't have the hope.
Guess what?
and
It'll happen again, you know? You'll find the true love of your life.
I
Because
hope
guess what?
so.
Russell Wilson, that one right there, I love that man.
I know.
He literally told Sierra to tell Future, we don't need his little change for child
Yeah,
support.
him, J-Lo, and A-Rod.
What
Like,
kind of shit
J-Lo's
is-
49 years old.
So don't give up. Like, there's
I'm
hope.
not gonna give
there's
up.
hope, babe.
I'm not
and
gonna
you're
give
too
up.
beautiful with too much good energy.
And also, like you said, that you're just now realizing these things. That means great. Keep realizing it and growing.
Yeah.
And
Instead
then by the
of-
time
yeah.
you grow,
Mhm.
you're gonna be at 100, and then you're gonna come into, you know, the universe is gonna bring you your other 100, and then you're gonna come together. It's gonna be
Exactly.
good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's also helping that, like, I'm not talking to him because when we were talking, he
It was
kept
like a
trying
yeah.
to guilt me and make
Yeah.
this be like my fault. I've never treated a girl the way I've treated you. I'm like, yeah, you've treated girls really shitty. You cheated on everybody.
No.
So because you didn't, you know, do these certain things to me, like,
Yeah.
that means that I'm just supposed to be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, my king. Like,
My
no,
king.
like, I didn't fucking cheat on you. Like, you shouldn't.
You
the
gave birth to this
punishment-
baby.
The punishment didn't fit the crime. And
Yes.
that's been my biggest issue with getting over this is because I'm like, you put me through all this shit because I was friends with somebody that you didn't want me to be friends with. And then I stopped being friends with them.
man.
It's
Yeah.
bullshit. It's
Hell
such
yeah.
bullshit.
Did you reconnect with the friend now?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
This
so
is a
where-
fucking mess.
Where are we at though? Where are we at with this?
So I want to talk about the healing, but
Okay.
we'll save that for the next episode because now we realize what trauma bonding is.
Yeah.
You
Gotta
know,
set
what a
the base level.
narcissist is.
And you have to take accountability for it, too.
Why we get addicted to these relationships. There is hope, guys, and we're gonna talk about that on the next episode.
So
We
we'll
love
see you in part 2.
Yeah, and we hope you heal.
Yeah.